Hello and welcome. I have Shilpi with me. Congratulations, Shilpi. You qualified your NET exam in HR and labor welfare in December 2018. How is this
Thanks.
success feeling to you?
It's always good, when you start preparing for some exams and, at the end of day, all your hard work bears the fruit that you have been expecting it to. So it always feels good. It's been a long time now. It's been almost 2 years now, but then it's always good to talk about it.
Great, great. And tell me more. Where do you hail from? Where were you born? Where did you study?
I'm basically from Ranchi, Jharkhand. His hometown, Mahendra Singh Dhoni's hometown, if you all would be aware of. And I did my schooling from Ranchi itself. I did my graduation from West Bengal. And then I went ahead and did my MBA from Delhi. And I completed my MBA in HR and marketing in the year 2011. And later I went ahead and joined an MNC. I was working in the operations profile. That is how the journey has been. I quit my job in 2015. After I got married, I had a baby, I had to quit my job. There were certain issues.
Okay. So you said you completed your post-graduation in 2011. So my next question is regarding this, that you qualified the exam in 2018 and there's a gap of 7 years. Was it very hard to get back to books and study again, be a student again?
Not really. I guess it was the easiest thing to do, because I have been in touch with my the books of my MBA right from 2011 onwards, because deep down inside, even when I was working in operations, I always wanted to be a teacher. So it kept on, it was there on my mind. It was just this, that working 8 to 9 hour shift and then going back, I did not have the time to, nor did I even have the sincere, effort was not there. Later, when I got married and I felt like taking a break, it was like I devoted my entire time on preparing for the UGC NET examination. So marriage just happened to be an opportunity to, take a break from the usual work and all. That's it. But it was very easy. It was very easy.
You make it sound easy. I'm sure it wasn't this easy. Coming to my next question. So you say you already had a baby before you sat for this exam. So tell us about how much hours could you give every day and how did you divide your time between different subjects and especially between paper 1 and paper 2?
See, when my daughter turned 6 months old, it was like a little bit easier because then, timings and all, her sleep hours were a little bit more defined. So I started preparing back then. I gave my first examination. The first attempt that I did was in the year 2016. She was 8 months old at that time. I did not qualify. I appeared for my examinations twice in management. But then I have never been a commerce student, and finance, accounting and economics were the three subjects wherein I was always lacking behind. So I decided to switch from management to HRM. And HR being my major in MBA, it was a bit easier. And of course, your material, it helped a lot. You won't believe, Garima, I ordered the study material from Human Peritas in the month of August 2018. And December 2018 was when I qualified the exam. And that to the percentile was the total percentile, I believe, was 99.7, I guess. So that was one thing that I will always cherish, that I had been looking for the material everywhere. Not even a single book I happened to come across which covered every part of the syllabus. There were certain bits and pieces that were always missing, but then the Human Peritas material, it was like it covered everything. And I don't know how I stumbled across, but I'm happy that I did. And coming to my preparations, I used to prepare when my daughter used to sleep in the night. So yeah, the night time was dedicated towards the second paper, and in the morning, in the daytime, somewhere around like afternoon, I would devote 1 hour to paper 1. That was easier to do. So the strategy was that.
So when I talk about paper 2 specifically in HR subject, there are so many labor laws that one has to remember. So is there a technique that worked for you that you can share with others, that how did you remember so many facts about so many laws?
See, there are certain laws that are, very much similar. If you go by the also when you have the updated, version of everything. For example, the changes in Maternity Act. There was a small, I remember a small piece of paper wherein all the updated information about the act was also provided along with the study material. So that was easy, and then you just have to club. It was more about understanding what the acts are rather than mugging it all up. So once you are defined as to Factories Act states this, ESIC states this, you have to have a clear concept rather than just ratta marne ke jagah pe. You have to have a clear concept. That is what helped. So I used to understand one act at a time and then go for it thoroughly, like what the act states, what are the specifications, what are the implementations, what all, in case the act is not followed, in case you have a complaint, so how do you carry forward the act. So it was one act at a time. It wasn't like this that I clubbed and went for all of it in a clubbing way. So that was how it worked for me. And trust me, I'm very bad with maths, so it was even difficult to remember the numbers. Yeah, that was
great. So my next question to you, Shilpi, is what new opportunities opened up for you after qualifying the NET exam? Has life changed for the better?
It has, definitely. I'm currently pursuing my PhD in HRM, and I have been getting job opportunities as well, but I am considering to join them after this COVID situation improved, right? So yeah, things have been improved. I am feeling better. I'm feeling confident. Even I'm thinking of preparing for JPSC next. So that is how the story has been so far.
That's amazing, and we congratulate you on your PhD admission. And
thank you.
All the best. Before we conclude, if you could give 2 pieces of advice which you think are very important for anyone to know who is giving a NET exam in HR subject, what would the 2 tips be?
The first being practice. There's no shortcut to it. You have to practice. And the second being don't lose hope. Because until unless you fall, you would not know how success tastes like. So to keep on giving your best, it's like the thing that should be in your mind when you appear for the exam is that I have nothing to lose. Then and only then, because if you're in conflict with yourself, you may not be able to give your best. So I guess the 2 things that work for me are the same, which I would like to share with everyone out there.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all those tips with us, and they would help someone immensely who's in the same situation, looking at things. Some challenges are specific for girls, like getting married, having a baby, and moving from corporate to teaching. So I hope you've inspired a few people here who will think about teaching as a career and UGC NET as a probable option. And thanks so much, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.